first, I'd just ask you to introduce yourself to us. We do know, Kabeer, you are the founder of Dunzo, one of the most popular brands in the country for quick commerce. But tell us more about yourself and how you came about with Dunzo.
Dunzo basically started off as a way to be able to provide unparalleled convenience to Indian urban customers. I think the starting of the business was fairly simple. I wanted stuff to get done in a city in a much more convenient fashion. And Indian cities are difficult. To be able to get your own things done. And I literally told a few people that why don't you text me what you need to get done on WhatsApp. And I actually just started running things down for people. In fact, the name comes from the fact that we'll get it done for you. So Dunzo. Customers are coming to us in a moment of need. They want us to be able to do something for them. And I think for us to be able to deliver for them in that moment with the utmost empathy possible required us to build a whole culture around empathy. I think it's one of the most important leadership principles that we go ahead and over-index on internally.
How did you get people convinced around you with this idea? How did you build a team? What were some of the most difficult challenges along this journey of building a company like Dunzo?
I read this recently and I think it's a really great way to put it. The organization is the ultimate product. We're an organization that's entirely built around humility, honesty, and empathy internally, right? Those are the three things that we double down and over-index on in every interaction. Interacting with each other and interacting with all of our stakeholders. These are non-negotiable. I also think it gets driven from the nature of the founding team. Right, the founding team comes with these principles. We are just people, who want to be able to be straight up and have that straight up conversation. Every problem is solvable if you are willing to have an honest conversation around it. The second thing is, I think everybody who comes into Dunzo. And I think this was one thing that really resonated with me was regarding the whole idea of achievement capital. It is, I think, the core principle with which startups of our scale need to think. We have to be able to set impossible goals for ourselves. Like anything lower than that isn't good enough. Right? And we will go ahead and exceptionally reward folks who are going ahead and exceeding expectations, and we will reward the people who go ahead and overachieve them. But not setting high enough benchmarks for yourself is you just not going ahead and being fair to yourself, the organization, and our customers. We have absolute admiration for what Reliance has been able to build as an organization in the country and for the country over the last so many decades. You have to think of Dunzo as a business that enables commerce, right? In a business like that, I think there is absolutely nobody else that I think we believe we could have learned as much as we have been able to learn in the last 15 months than the Reliance family. It is the gold standard on how commerce businesses should be run.
Part of the reason we're having this conversation is that people watching will get inspired by stories like yours, founders like yours. So what are the ways in which they can then inculcate in their lives any of the 10 tenets or any other leadership factors, any self-improvement goals?
It's really the founder's mindset which needs to be transferred, across the organization. Everybody needs to be able to believe that they are going ahead and doing things that are Dunzo first in nature, and they are going ahead and making sure that they all act like owners. That I think is the biggest change that the organization goes through from in that journey, right, of 0 to 100 and 10 to 100 especially. There are multiple folks in the organization who are going to function like owners and leaders and making sure that they are the ones who are going ahead and leading the next charge of what the organization is going to look like. And so I think it all rolls back into the organization is the ultimate product. Right, and that product needs to evolve with the scale of the challenges that the organization is dealing with.
So there's always this tension, right? When a lot of people become self-owners in the way in which they act, there could be a lot of variance in the ways in which their decisions might pan out and ripple out. So your thoughts on that?
I think broadly comes down to three things is the way we think about it. One is I think the goalposts in terms of these are the hows. That how we will. So that's what leadership principles do, right? They define the how of the things that this organization wants to be able to do. Explain to people as to what the behavior should look like, and honestly keep editing them. right? Because what you ended up defining maybe like 18, 24 months back might evolve, right? Because the organization scale has evolved, and so you need to be able to change those for that. So that's the first one. The second one is, I think, the way you go ahead and think through goal setting, right? Very clear ownership and what you call goal setting is required. It's important from a very leadership and what you call management perspective to be able to set correct goals. Because if you end up setting wrong goals, it can go ahead and just make people go in the wrong direction, right? The org design is a function of the goals that you have. Right, and so the org design is something that comes from those goals that are being set, right? So that's not something that I would think is the what you call like a separate pillar. It's just a part of the second pillar. And the third one, then we believe, is really what you call how you reward, right? Because what you reward is the culture that you get. If you reward a particular kind of culture, that's really what you will get going forward. If you actually believe that this was the right cultural what you call behavior, you reward it. And if you think this was against the culture that has been defined by those what you call principles and house, then you reprimand it, right? You just do that consistently and culture gets set.